Pahrump Early Learning Academy, our goal is to provide a complete nurturing environment for the growth and development of the whole child, socially, emotionally, physically, and intellectually. Children are natural explorers and need hands-on experiences to help stimulate their own imaginations. We strive to meet the needs of each individual child at their developmental level through planned activities, plus help each child attain a higher level of achievement. Call 751-5335 for more information.
News 46 is brought to you by Comfort Hospice Care, where we give our patients and their loved ones peace of mind, knowing we provide the highest quality of care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information, call 751-0349. News is also brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community. News is also brought to you by Half Price Lawyers, the only law firm in Pahrump with a low price guarantee. Located at 41 North Highway 160, Unit 11. Call 400-0000.
Tonight on News 46, Chief Lewis updates us on a multiple structure fire. A motorhome burns on the south end of town, and a bike rider is injured after being struck by a car. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell and Jason Koblenz. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, July 2nd, 2014. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Fireworks appear to be the cause of a multiple structure fire yesterday afternoon on Kings Way, located on the south end of town.
What started off as a significant brush fire occurred around the 1 p.m. hour yesterday. We were dispatched for the report of a large brush fire. Upon leaving the station, we observed a large developing smoke column, so we knew we were going to be going to work. Upon arrival, we found, in fact, that we had approximately 3 acres of mixed brush, heavily involved, and it already extended to several structures on the properties and several vehicles. We established a safety perimeter consisting of 1 square mile, and we started basically placing the apparatus in positions that would protect the nearby exposures, which still included other vehicles, structures, and also the nearby brush. Our whole objective was to try and keep the fire right where it was as we found it. Our crews came in, we requested mutual aid. We had BLM and also the 51 station out of Pahrump, and they all came in. So we had the specific objective of minimizing the extension, which was completed. But in the overall end of things, we ended up losing approximately 6 structures, 1 primary dwelling. Most of those were accessory buildings like garages and secondary trailers. And we had lost approximately 6 to 7 vehicles. Not all of them in running condition, but they were located on the properties.
So this is basically one residence?
There's actually several residences within this area. But it's important to note, though, that there's a number of other buildings that were in close proximity, including a very large custom structure that was within feet of, and we protected that.
Let's talk a little bit about that because there was a lot of wind, and I mean, this was a hot, burning, extreme fire, wasn't it?
It really was. It had all the ingredients to be even more dangerous than what we held it to be. But again, the swift actions and the quick responses by the firefighters and meeting the overall objectives in a safe fashion really made a big difference in this call.
And that's why you went out to a mutual aid and asked for their resources too as well, quickly.
We wanted to make sure that we weren't behind the 8 ball. We wanted to make sure that we had all the resources en route. If we didn't need them, we can always turn those around. But we, in fact, did utilize them. We had a number of spot fires because of those shifting winds. And again, the number of exposures that we had, it was prudent to bring in those.
3 injuries to firefighters?
There was 3 firefighters that suffered heat exhaustion. They were not associated with Pahrump Valley Fire Rescue, as it was reported earlier. They were from a mutual aid agency. They were all treated at the scene and released. There was 1 civilian. There was actually a rescue assignment that was completed in the very early stages of the fire. So in addition to all the fire events that were going on, there was several people that were trapped within the flames in an area that was clearly deteriorating. So the Station 1 crew, under the direction of Lieutenant Perry, went in and effected a rescue. remove them to a safe area. One of those civilians did incur a burn injury to an arm. They were treated at the scene and released.
And the mother of 6 was struck by a vehicle this morning on Highway 160 while she and her husband were riding their bikes.
Tonight's accident report is brought to you by Stovall and Associates. Don't expect insurance companies to have your best interest in mind. Stovall and Associates cares. Let us help you if you have been involved in an accident.
Yes, we had a silver vehicle coming out of the private driveway here of the Carl's Jr. and the new coffee shop here. Apparently the driver came up to the intersection and was going to make a right-hand turn, and he only looked to the left. He didn't look to the right, and there was actually a bicyclist driving in the bicycle lane down the road, and when the driver of the silver vehicle pulled out, he collided with the bicycle rider. Technically, a bicycle rider should be driving with traffic, and a pedestrian is to walk against traffic. So that's going to be a contributing factor for the crash also. A citation will be issued definitely to the driver of the vehicle. I'm unsure at this time about the bicycle rider. I still have a little bit more investigation to do.
Early this morning, we were dispatched a report of a pedestrian motor vehicle accident involving a bicyclist versus a car, right in the area of the driveway for Carl's Jr. Our response revealed that we had a person laying on the Highway 160. They were treated and transported from the scene. Although the patient met flight criteria, the local helicopter was unavailable. I guess they were on another assignment, so we transported locally.
Will they be transported from Desert View Hospital via Mercy, or do you know?
I don't know specifically, but there is the potential for an additional transfer into Vegas.
And traffic was blocked for a little while you attended to the victim. No other victims or injuries?
Yes, we diverted traffic around the scene as the patient was actually physically located on Highway 160 on the highway surface, but in close proximity to the shoulder.
And what advice do you have for drivers out there with bicycle riders? Because there's a lot of them here in this town.
Yeah, it's been very busy with vehicle traffic, so we're reminding everyone, look both ways, especially when you're coming in. Let's say you're making a right-hand turn, check to the right also. There may be someone, either a pedestrian walking or a bicyclist or another vehicle coming along. Check all ways.
Even with the upcoming 4th of July, people might be paying attention to other things.
Especially with the 4th of July weekend coming up, they could be focused on some fireworks in the nearby area and not focusing on the road ahead of them.
And we did follow up with Fire Chief Scott Lewis concerning a story that we told you about yesterday, whereas a motorhome was destroyed by flames from an unattended controlled burn. Toward the end of the brush fire, we were then dispatched a report of an active RV fire. And upon arrival, we found we had a motorhome with an engine compartment fire. We also noticed that there was a grounds cover fire approximately 40 feet from where the vehicle's final resting position was, which also placed an immediate structure exposure. We found out through the course of the investigation that a grounds cover fire, an unauthorized controlled burn, was started in close proximity to the motorhome. The occupant went in to take a nap, left it unattended. The burn then extended to the motorhome and set it afire in the engine, the area of the cabin engine compartment. So you have a burn, or there's a burn moratorium on right now. That is our lesson learned. The burn moratorium is put into place for such incident. The fuels are too volatile, the temperatures are too high, the relative humidity is low, and the wind conditions, the same thing impacted us on the larger brush fire that day, could have had the same potential in this case. What's it like to bring resources from a really active brush fire to another fire, even though it was in the same area? We were fortunate, though, because the larger brush fire was in a decline, so our resources we were starting to release from the scene. So that helped us. We then just redirected and diverted them to the additional assignment. So no injuries reported, no extensions, besides the motorhome was a complete loss? Yes, the motorhome sustained significant fire damage to the cab. The grounds cover fire was easily extinguished, and there was no extension to the primary dwelling. A judge has set free a Carlin man who served 17 years in prison for the killing of a toddler after the Nevada Supreme Court overturned his conviction, and he agreed to a plea deal on the charge of involuntary manslaughter. Elko County District Court Judge Nancy Porter sentenced Patrick McCormick on Tuesday to up to 4 years in prison, but she granted him credit for time served, which means he has completed his sentence. McCormick was convicted of first-degree murder in 1996 in the death of 14-month-old Jacob Jones, the son of a woman he'd been living with. The Supreme Court overturned the conviction in 2012 on the grounds of ineffective legal counsel, saying a penicillin allergy couldn't be ruled out as the cause of death. When we come back from this break, we'll have your Desert View Hospital health tip.
Pahrump, are you getting tired of being capped on your internet? Well, not anymore. Wave Direct has no data caps, and with great local customer service, why go anywhere else? 30-day trials are available. Call 775-253-3887.
News is brought to you by Integrity Taxi. Reliable, safe, and fun. Call Integrity Taxi at 751-1111.
And welcome back to News 46. Here's today's Desert View Hospital health tip concerning CPAP for asthma.
This health tip is brought to you by
Desert View Hospital and Mountain Valley Physicians Group. Don't put your health on hold. We have time for you. Call us to schedule your appointment. 775-751-7100.
College professor Kurt Stecker spends many late nights grading papers. But some nights his asthma gets the best of him.
You can't sleep, that kind of thing. It's a tightness in your chest, and then your chest also, you cough.
Kurt was diagnosed with asthma at age 16. He's taken steroids and inhalers, but now he's trying this. As part of a clinical trial, doctors are testing whether treatment with a CPAP machine will improve symptoms in asthma patients by making their airways less reactive.
At nighttime, their muscles that are around their windpipes are not being allowed to relax. In essence, they're working almost 24 hours a day.
The CPAP pushes gentle air down the windpipe, forcing the muscles to relax. It's typically used for patients with sleep apnea, but doctors say it could be the first drug-free option for asthma patients. In the 12-week study, patients used the device for at least 4 hours a day, and there are no side effects.
The most exciting thing is that it's not a drug. This is a device.
Kurt watches TV while his CPAP goes to work.
I don't even notice it, honestly.
He hopes the simple mask could one day be all he needs to keep his asthma under control. I'm Marty Salt reporting.
Thank you, Marty. In a controversial move, Donna Lamb, the owner of Provenza Realty since 1977 and a board member and a specialist in water rights and land parcels, was removed from the Nye County District Water Board. Lamb has been on the board since its inception in March of 2009, when she was replaced by Greg Dan. Lamb was audibly upset during the meeting, stating, "There's politics running amok for you." Lamb was a one-time director of the Amargosa Conservancy. She advocated for a public education campaign in the schools on water conservation that she still intends to pursue. Dan also serves on the newly appointed Basin 162 Groundwater Management Plan Advisory Committee, which is an ad hoc committee drawing up a water management plan for the Pahrump Valley, where he submitted a controversial proposal that includes a moratorium on new development until a plan is approved. Well, the Patch of Heaven Christian Camp has been in a dispute with Fish and Wildlife after their property in Amargosa suffered flooding in December of 2010. The controversy comes from Ash Meadows Wildlife Refuge apparently diverting a waterway and building a dam from a historical path since the 1880s. The diversion led to flooding of the camp, causing $85,000 in damage and permanent taking claims of an undetermined surface water value. The resolution was reached during the Board of County Commissioners meeting this week. The resolution states, whereas Nye County recognizes that this overwhelming percentage of federally controlled land contributes to an environment of federal overreach and abuse of property rights and leads to the diminishment of due process and rights granted to Nye County residents under the United States Constitution, Bill of Rights, and Nevada Constitution.
Perhaps Ms. Fluentes or her attorney could answer this, or even Mr. Kunze. My question was in the resolution where the wording states, as Ash Meadows National Wildlife Refuge is wholly contained, and as it refers to as Ash Meadows, is that going to be a problem if it doesn't say Fish and Wildlife or federal?
No, he's shaking his head no.
So it's okay just the way it's written?
I think it would be Ed Goodhart for the record in response to a question posed by Commissioner Cox. I think you're right.
Go ahead, Mr. Goodhart. Go ahead.
Okay, for the record, Ed Goodhart in response to a question from Commissioner Cox. I do believe you are correct on There's 3 items here. I can hand it to the clerk here, or the one taking care of the correspondence. I think in 3 instances, you're right. Ash Meadows basically is, by saying Ash Meadows, we did mean the United States Fish and Wildlife Service, and there is some ongoing litigation, and this is an effort to get these folks to go ahead and deal equitably and fairly and promptly with the Fuenteses and the Patch of Heaven Church Camp. But yeah, I think it would be good to change that notation to United States Fish and Wildlife Service, and I've got those areas noted, and I can hand that back to the what's your position? To Liz over here.
Okay, I have.
So your point is well made, and we have made those notational changes.
Okay.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Let's see if they want to amend their motion and second.
I'll amend the motion to reflect the statements made.
I'll second.
I'll amend my second.
And we have the amended second by Commissioner Carboni. All right. So everybody's happy with that. Commissioner Wickman, did you have something to say?
I only wanted to thank Commissioner Cox for championing that resolution through the channel. So, thank you.
Okay. Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 And I vote aye. So passes 5-0 with none opposing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And you can see in that video the former Assemblyman Ed Goodhart and the owners of Patch of Heaven, Annette and Victor Fuentes. Well, the Rural Nevada Development Corporation is making loans available from $500,000 to $250,000. The interest rates vary from 6% to 12%. Loans can be from 1 to 5 years, although certain loans, such as fixed assets, can be for longer periods of time. For more information, you can give Alan Parker a phone call at 751-1947. And after the break, we'll have your entertainment this week and First Business Brief. Stay tuned.
Today's news is brought to you in part by Dr. George Leeks, Pahrumps optometrist since 1990, offering full-spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300.
Last week, Pearl Jam appealed to their younger fan base by covering Let It Go, the chart-topping single from Disney's Frozen. Now, Eddie Vedder has revealed the reasoning behind the odd cover choice, saying in concert in Italy, he was simply obliging to a request made by his 5-year-old daughter. Another familiar face bid farewell late Saturday, actor Meshach Taylor. He died at age 67 at his Los Angeles area home. Many may remember him from Designing Women, where he played assistant Anthony Bouvier. Taylor had fought a terminal illness and had declining health in recent days. His wife, children, grandchildren, and mother surrounded him as he passed away. Diane Sawyer will step down from ABC's flagship nightly newscast, World News, in August. David Muir, the weekend World News anchor, will replace her starting September 2nd. In a first-of-its-kind arrangement, Muir will not be the main anchor for the big breaking news stories or elections. That spot will go to Good Morning America co-host George Stephanopoulos, who will have the title chief anchor role. Sawyer took over the World News chair in 2009, becoming the first woman to solo anchor the famed newscast. Sawyer said that in a statement, after wonderful years at World News, I've decided it's time to move to a new full-time role at ABC News. She added that she can't wait to continue bringing more of her specials to primetime and appearing on all ABC News broadcasts as well. And neither can we. Good luck, Diane, in the future. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. That's your entertainment this week.
This is the First Business Brief for Wednesday, July 2nd. I'm Angela Miles. It's going to cost more to fire up the grill for burgers, ribs, and steaks this 4th of July. Beef prices are at record highs. Still, consumer demand is expected to stay strong. American Apparel founder Dov Charney is raising his stake in American Apparel to 43% from 27% to regain leadership of the clothing chain. Charney was fired in June for allegedly misusing company money and circulating nude photos of an ex-employee. Charney is fighting the charges. Legal experts predict the bitter battle will move from the boardroom to the courtroom. And Southwest Airlines is spreading its wings overseas. The airline, considered the largest domestic carrier, will begin offering international service to Aruba, Montego Bay, Jamaica, Nassau, and Bahamas this month. And in August, we'll add flights to Cancun and Los Cabos, Mexico. That's the First Business Brief. I'm Angela Miles.
Thanks, Angela. When we come back from this break, we'll have your weather with Noah Began.
News 46 weather is brought to you by your local dairy farmers. Dairy products are very important in maintaining a healthy body.
Hello and welcome back to News 46. Today is Wednesday, July 2nd. Today we had sunny skies with a high of 106 degrees. These high temperatures will be sticking around for a while, so make sure you're staying hydrated. Your average temperature around this time of year is 103 degrees. Winds are coming from the south-southwest today at 8 miles per hour with gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Pretty high winds out there. The UV index today was 11, which is extreme. That's why it's important to be wearing your sunscreen when you go outside. That UV radiation out there can really burn your skin, so wear sunscreen. Humidity was at 16% today. Sunrise was at 5:31 this morning, and the record high in 2013 was 115 degrees. Tonight we'll have clear skies with a low of 77 degrees. Your average temperature at this time of year is 79 degrees. Winds will be coming from the south at 6 miles per hour with gusts up to 11 miles per hour. Humidity will be at 23%. Sunset will be at 8:05 this evening, and the record low in 1943 was 62 degrees. Tomorrow we'll have continued sunny skies with a high of 106 degrees and a low of 76 degrees. Winds will be coming from the south-southwest at 8 miles per hour with gusts up to 15 miles per hour. Humidity will be at 21%. Sunrise will be at 5:32 a.m. and the UV index will be 11, which is extreme. For our 7-day forecast, we'll have a mostly cloudy week, but we'll also have some nice fireworks, hopefully, on Friday, which is the 4th of July. Your high temperatures will be staying right about in the 100s, so make sure you're checking in on your family members, especially the elderly and children. And also make sure you're giving your pets lots of water and not letting them out for extended periods of time. Your low temperatures will be ranging from the mid-70s to the low 80s.
Thanks so much, Noah. Before I read this first announcement, I want to remind everybody that it is the season of fireworks, and it is the biggest season as well for pets getting out because of fireworks, and it frightens them very much, and they usually end up running off during some of our fireworks shows that we have here in town. There's going to be one on Friday night at Petrick Park and on Saturday night at the Prump Nugget. So if you do have animals, we ask that you put them in a special area. They say that the best is to put them possibly in a bathroom so that there's room surrounding them so it'll muffle the sound, or in a location where they cannot get out because it does frighten them. And please take extra precautions with your pets during this time and keep them safe. Well, the Cancer Victims Thrift Store will be holding a Customer Appreciation Day, and that's going to be on Saturday for the entire community to attend. They will have a free barbecue, drinks, raffle, and a huge sale on everything in the store. The event starts at 11 a.m. Once again, that's on Saturday. They're located at 641 West Street on the corner of 2nd and West, and we'll see you down there. And that's going to do it for this edition of News 46. We'll be back tomorrow night. I'm Deanna O'Donnell from everybody up here at KPVM. Have a wonderful night.